Hello everybody. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Tasty Snackies. I used to make a lot of videos pertaining to Magic the Gathering and discussing the culture and the game and the lore and all that other kind of fun stuff, particularly memes, which is what a lot of people subscribe to me for. But over the past few years or so, things have kind of tapered off for a bit, and I've found a new passion, and that's designing card games. So that's what this video is going to talk about, which is Frontline TCG, otherwise known as the unofficial Titanfall trading card game. Now, for those of you who are already aware of some of the history of Titanfall, you may already be aware of there being a card game in the past, also called Frontline. Whenever I got into Titanfall 2 originally back in 2018, by the time I first opened this case and took a look at this little insert here describing Titanfall Frontline, it had already been too late for the game. See, the servers, they didn't stay up very long, maybe a few months, a year or so, but by the time I got my hands on that copy of the game there, it had already been a memory in someone's heart. Now, cut forward about 3 years after the fact, and I had this new hobby of creating custom Magic the Gathering cards. I wasn't necessarily great at it, but I had a lot of fun doing so. And then I got into this habit of doing a lot of top-down design, which is making designs based off of certain concepts or characters, and then building up from that. And well, at the time I was playing a lot of Apex Legends. And so I started making a lot of custom Magic the Gathering cards focused around Apex Legends characters. And naturally, I also started making custom cards focused around the different Titans from Titanfall 2, and Jack Cooper and Kuben Blisk and all these other great characters. And then it dawned on me, why don't I just make my own trading card game, you know? I had already put in a lot of this, we'll call it experience, into making cards, so I had this notion that, yeah, you know what, I can be a game designer. I've never had any experience before, but whatever, man. Everyone's got to start from somewhere, so let's get started. And so I worked with this idea for quite a while, a few months or so. I'll have some images here on the screen that showcases a lot of the early designs that I had, not just for the custom Magic the Gathering cards, but also this custom trading card game that I was building from the ground up. And, you know, I put a lot of heart and soul into this, and I put a lot of creativity to it as well. And, well, you know, at the end of the day, I just kind of determined that if I was going to put this much effort into making a card game, I don't want to squander all of this effort into an IP that I don't own. You know, you've always heard the sad story of someone putting a lot of time and effort into making a fan game, only for the parent company of that IP to strike down the project, particularly when it's about to release. And so it would be particularly heartbreaking if I were to pour tons of hours into making this game just for EA or Respawn to take it down. You kind of see the problem with this video here? Well, I already tried making a solution to that. And that solution was to take everything that I had learned from making the Apex and Titanfall card game and starting fresh. Take all those old designs and reconvert them into new ideas, build my own IP, build a world, create new characters and everything. And that's what I've been doing for the past couple years. But it dawned on me, do I really want to take all this time and effort that I had been pouring into making my own IP, making my own characters, building my own world, creating my own lore for what I believe is to be a really cool game system, and have it maybe disappear over time, right? Because it's really difficult building something from the ground up just by yourself like that and gaining a lot of interest, especially when it comes to card games. Now, I don't know if the viewers watching this know this about card gamers in particular, but you know, especially if you're into Magic the Gathering or like Yu-Gi-Oh, for example, it's very difficult to convince card game players to play other card games because a lot of the times they're either emotionally invested, monetarily invested, or simply apathetic to the idea of playing other card games because, well, they like what they like. So I was thinking to myself, okay, well, if I'm going to spend all this time and effort into making a brand new IP with new characters and all this kind of stuff, and then just kind of hope that other people will like the IP, it kind of seems like a farce. Unless I have a lot of money to put towards a marketing effort, which I don't, It's very difficult to do that from the ground up. So I figured, why not go the grassroots way? Why not rely on a community of people to slowly burgeon this process and get it to a point where there is a stable community behind this idea that this game is cool and that it's enjoyable and fun to play. And so I went back to this whole Apex and Titanfall card game idea that I had had all these years ago. And I figured, why not take this game system that I had been working on for years and just reskin it back to what I had originally had the idea with the intention of marketing this game to the Titanfall fan base, because I've been a part of that fan base for the better part of, 6 years now or so? And the fans for Titanfall are extremely passionate. They really, really, we really enjoy this game. For those of you that may know, I'm an EPG main, and I run Scorch as my main Titan. I don't care if it's, my KD is awful, but it's a lot of fun. So back to the card game. If I work with a brand new audience of people, some of them, they may be into card games, but a lot of them, they might not be. And this may be the first exposure for them into a card game. The idea that I wanted to approach this with different players besides card game players in mind was conceptually my original game that I had made wasn't necessarily made for card gamers. It was a card game made for gamers. And that was effectively the bedrock for the concept of this card game here. This is a test print. And, I don't really mind showing this off because, as you can see, Cyberduel here. I'll show you the front as well. I'll get you a better viewing of what this card looks like here. This is kind of an old, antiquated design. I'm not really utilizing both this and this, so I don't really care about, divulging too much information pertaining to that. But I really wanted to work on this card game that I feel could appeal to a specific niche of gamer that hasn't really been, I don't really know another appropriate word, but exploited, tapped into, maybe, for enjoyment of a card game, right? Because I love card games. That's the whole reason why I'm here. It's the whole reason why I'm making this video. It's the whole reason why I spent 3 years working on Project Cyberduel, was because I wanted to share that love and I wanted to keep the legacy of what I learned from Pokemon, from Yu-Gi-Oh, and from Magic for future generations to come. And so that leads us to now, which is Frontline Trading Card Game, the unofficial Titanfall trading card game, which effectively serves as the playtesting beta for my upcoming card game. Now, that is probably going to be more of a 2026, 2027 type of thing. So in the next year or so, I had planned on using Frontline as a proxy for my game and figured, I can get a whole bunch of play testers, I can get a whole bunch of consultation, I can get a whole bunch of feedback that I would not have gotten otherwise had I not tried to just market this game to normal card gamers, because they already have specific opinions, and that's great and all, but I wanted specific opinions outside of just card gamers, and I wanted a better understanding of the new player experience. And that's another reason why I wanted to tap into the Titanfall community, is because there is a certain amount of players that will be enjoying card games for the first time, and they'll be enjoying this for the first time. And so it'll really give me an idea of that onboarding experience, because let's be honest here, if you know how to play card games, the onboarding experience for learning any card game is going to be significantly easier than it is with someone who doesn't necessarily have as much experience playing card games. And so I've been actively working not just on the game, but also trying to grow a community. I have a subreddit with the link provided down below that already has 406 members in it. I'll have a Discord down below, which has about 2 dozen or so members in there, as well as a way to actually play this game right now for free. Absolutely no charge at all to anyone, because I don't want EA's lawyers coming after me, so I'm not making any money off of this. Hell, this video isn't even monetized, so we're not going to go down that road. Instead, I want you guys to enjoy the game. The link down below for the game will be for the PC game Tabletop Simulator. It is a free mod for there. And I'll be working more on it, and I'll be providing video tutorials and all that kind of stuff, so that way you can really enjoy the experience of Frontline and help give feedback to me and hopefully a growing team of developers and designers and marketers and all that other kind of fun stuff that a business is eventually going to need down the line. But for right now, I really just wanted to give something to the community and have them enjoy it. And not only is it free, but also I have provided avenues of being able to print these custom cards. So if you go to like makeplayingcards.com, you can mess around with some of the files that I provided, and you can print your own cards and effectively have your own printed card game that I decided to make for all of you. And so if you follow this channel, subscribe, like, and all that other fun stuff in the future, we'll be doing more devlogs for Frontline, and I will be discussing more in depth about the history and my design philosophies and the slow evolution of the different forms that this game has evolved into. The whole reason why I showed this is because it's a completely antiquated design. Notice how there's no like mana or like mana-like system cost in here. It's because this game was closer to how Yu-Gi-Oh! Operated, and I decided to make some changes just based off of gameplay and realizing that Yu-Gi-Oh's design has been fundamentally broken since day one, and it's really hard to fix what is already broken, so I decided to go a completely different path. And you'll see that when you look at these Frontline cards, they look significantly different. I mean, obviously the Frontline cards are more modeled off of the burn cards from the original Titanfall, but that's besides the point. The point is that this game is here for all of you, and I want all of you to enjoy it, and I want you all to talk to me about it. Please, for the love of God, do not let my years of effort go to waste, and please stay engaged. Join the Discord, join the subreddit, give me good ratings for the mod on Tabletop Simulator, and yeah, I'll keep you updated. Anyways, my name is Tasty Snackies. You all have been wonderful. I'll catch you on the flip side.